Okay, so I'm going to do a quick overview of the answers on this 8th grade science first semester exam study guide. Number 1, what are the groups on the periodic table? The groups on the periodic table are these vertical columns as you go across on the periodic table. So this will be group 1A. This is also known as the alkali metals. Group 2 or 2A, this is known as the alkali earth metals. Group 3A or group 13, this is the boron group, the carbon group, the nitrogen group, the oxygen group, this is the halogens, and this is group 18, or it could be called 8A, and this is the noble gases. That's the answer to number 1. Number 2, what do the groups on the periodic table have in common? Well, the groups, what they have in common is they all have the same number of valence electrons. If you look at them, the number that's in the ones place, is the number of valence electrons. So group 1 or 1A has 1 valence electron. Group 2 or 2A has 2. Over here, these have 3. The boron group, or 3A, or group 13 has 3 valence. This has 4 valence, 5 valence, 6 valence electrons, 7 valence, and 8 valence electrons in the noble gases. Number 3, what are the components of an atom? There are 3 parts that make up an atom. There are the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons. The protons and neutrons are found in the nucleus of an atom. The electrons are found in the electron cloud, or the electron energy levels of the atom. Number 4, what charge do the components of atoms have? The protons will have a positive charge. The neutrons have a neutral charge. Electrons have a negative charge. Number 5, what components of an atom are found in the nucleus? I just said that. In the nucleus of an atom, you have 2 of the 3 components. That is, the protons and the neutrons. Number 6, what makes an atom neutral? So, whenever you're thinking about the components of an atom, protons are positive and have a positive charge. Neutrons are neutral, so they have no charge. Electrons have a negative charge. So for something to be neutral, the positive and negative charges need to be the same. So for instance, it has to have the same number of protons as electrons. If you have 2 protons and 2 electrons, then the atom is said to be electrically neutral. It has no overall charge. Number 7, what does the atomic number of an element tell you about that element? The atomic number is, if you're looking at just a regular periodic table, the atomic number is how elements are arranged on the periodic table. So for instance, hydrogen is number 1, helium is number 2, those are the atomic numbers. And it tells you here where the atomic number is on this periodic table. But that's also equal to the number of protons. You could also say it's equal to the number of electrons. So, the atomic number tells us that how many protons. It also tells us how many electrons an element has if the atom is electrically neutral. Number 8. What does the atomic mass of an element tell you about that element? The atomic mass is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So it lets us know the sum of protons plus neutrons. Number 9, how can you use the atomic mass and the atomic number to calculate the number of neutrons in an atom? So you would take the atomic mass and subtract the atomic number from it. So it would be the atomic mass minus the atomic number is equal to the number of neutrons. Number 10. As an electron gets further away from the nucleus of an atom, the energy in that atom does what? It increases. It gets higher. So that's the answer to that one. Number 11. Where is the majority of the mass of an atom found? Well, the atomic mass is equal to the number of protons plus the number of neutrons, and those are found in the nucleus. And so the majority of the mass of an atom is found in the nucleus of an atom. Number 12. Where is the majority of the volume of an atom found? The majority of the volume of an atom is found in the electron cloud, or you could say the electron levels, or the electron energy levels. Number 13, define isotope. An isotope is an element that has a different number of neutrons. For instance, you can have an element or an atom that has the same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons, and that is called an isotope. Number 14. Which component or part of an atom determines the identity of that atom? That would be the protons. The protons is the same as the atomic number, and the atomic number is how atoms are arranged on the periodic table. So that would have to be the protons. Number 15, let me scroll up here. Number 15, define valence electrons. Valence electrons are the electrons that are found in the outer energy level of the energy shells, or the electron shells, or you could say the electron cloud. That's the outermost level of electrons, is the valence electrons. Number 16. What particle in an atom is equal to the atomic number? We've already said this. That's the protons. Number 17. What particles of an atom is equal to the atomic mass? Well, the atomic mass is the sum of the protons and the neutrons. So you would say the protons plus the neutrons is equal to the atomic mass. Number 18. List the 4 energy levels of the electron shell and tell how many electrons can be held in each level. Okay, the first energy level can only hold 2 electrons. And let me show you on the periodic table. The periods are the sections of the periodic table that go horizontally across. So this will be period 1. See, here's the word period. Period 1 goes across this way. Period 2 goes right here. Period 3 right here. Period 4 across this way. And so that represents another electron energy level. So period 1 would just have 1. And it can only hold 2 electrons. The second electron shell, or energy level, can hold up to 8 electrons. The third energy shell, or electron shell, can hold 8 as well. And then the fourth one can hold up to 18 electrons, according to how we listed them in our notes. Number 19. The electron arrangement is equal to the number of electrons in each energy shell. List the electron arrangement for calcium. So, when I look at calcium on the periodic table, it is in period 4. That means it has 4 electron shells. And so, the first one would have 2 electrons, the second one would have 8, the third one would have 8, and the fourth one, it's just 2 places over. It has 2, it's in group 2A, or group 2, and it has 2 valence electrons, which, remember, the valence electrons are in the outer energy level. So the fourth energy level would have 2 electrons. So the electron arrangement for calcium would be, the first one would be 2 electrons, the second energy level would have 8, the third energy level would have 8, the fourth energy level would have 2. Number 20, what makes an atom electrically neutral? So in order for an atom to be electrically neutral, you would have to have the same number of protons as electrons, because protons have a positive charge, electrons have a negative charge. When you have the same amount, they're going to balance each other out, which will make the atom or element overall neutral. Okay, let's scroll on here. Number 21. What are the periods on the periodic table? Well, we've already just talked about that. The periods are the rows that go horizontally across, and it's listed right here. The periods, so this is period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4, and those represent the energy levels of electrons of an atom. Okay. That's number 22. What do the periods on the periodic table represent? They represent the energy levels, or the energy shells, or the electron shells of an atom. Number 23. List the names of the groups from left to right on the periodic table. For example, the alkali metals, etc. So, on the periodic table, group 1, or 1A is called the alkali metals. Group 2 is the alkali earth metals. All of these in here are called the transition metals in the middle part. Group 3A or 13 is also called the rare earth metals, or you could call it the boron group. And then this would be called the carbon group, the nitrogen group, the oxygen group. Group 7A or 17 is known as the halogens, and group 8A or 18 is known as the noble gases. Okay, let's see here. Number 24. List the names of the scientists that discovered part of the atom and the periodic table in their discovery. So I need to pull up a section of our notes. Let me see if I can find our notes. What we went over.